What's happening with you and your mom? Today, I'm going to tell you all about me and mine. Hey, sweet baby. Welcome to Loving Relationships for Women of Color. You want a love life that loves you back. You want the joy of being seen, heard, accepted, and loved. You want someone who loves you for what's in your head and not what's on your head. I'm Candace Harper, relationship coach and hypnotherapist, and I believe that we all deserve joyful, peaceful, abundant, fulfilling, and loving relationships. I have one, and I want you to have yours too. So come with me while we break cycles, move our survival mechanisms out of the way, and truly understand ourselves and our worth. Share this show with your friends, write a review, don't keep it a secret. We all need good love. Also, make sure to subscribe wherever you are watching or listening. All right, it's time to get started. Welcome. Today's topic, forgiving my mom. If you've been with me for a while, you know that I talk about the influence that my own parents, particularly my mother, had over my love life. I also work with clients around their own relationships with their mothers. Why? Because even though it is important to look at both parental relationships, our self-identity tends to come from our mother or mother figure. In other words, if she has low self-esteem, we tend to struggle with it as well. If she has psychological or emotional challenges, we tend to grapple with them to some degree as well. Not just due to genetics, but mainly family pathology. So when we come from generations of women who were not ever told or treated as though they were valuable, or generations of women who had to do everything to make sure that the family survived with no help, or generations of women who were treated like chattel or playthings, or trigger warning, in some cases punching bags, it's very important that we're able to self-observe and understand how our relationship with our mother is such a powerful influence in how we show up for ourselves, and therefore how we show up in our romantic relationships. Today, I want to talk about my own journey of forgiving my mother. I want to break it down in 3 parts. What I was believing that made it impossible to forgive her for many, many years. What I learned that shifted my beliefs, what I did to release myself from the bonds of resentment and find peace in all my closest relationships. So let's start with the beliefs that kept me from forgiving her. One of them was she should have known better. My belief was that as a mother, she should have gotten her emotional shit together. Right? And we often believe that our mother was supposed to know. She was supposed to know. Never mind that none of us get a manual, but it's an easy belief to have. As a child, you think she's supposed to be she's the center of your world. What about she didn't really love me? I believed I was the baby that she had to justify my parents' relationship. They'd gotten married, pregnant, and that baby died, and I felt like I was justification. I believed that all she cared about was herself and her addictions, whether it was anger, shopping, whatever. She was often impatient. And as a child, I took that to mean that I was less important than whatever she was focusing on. I believed that she was violent and cruel. It wasn't that she was physically violent with me or hurt me, but she was quick to raise her voice and say vile and mean things when she was angry, especially if she perceived my behavior as going against her or against something that she wanted from me. She hurt me on purpose. I believed that she hurt me on purpose. I believed that this was true because I experienced her as controlling, that, it needed to be her way, that she would do whatever she needed to do in order to make me do what she wanted me to do. And I believed that I got the wrong mother. That was a belief that I walked around with. I should have had a different mother. It should have been. Right? I believed that I was scarred beyond repair because of the relationship that I had with her for a long time as an adult. I began to believe that I had to make up for how horrible she was in my mind as a mother because I had her set as this villain and I had a lot of proof. I started to believe I have to save her from herself. If, I didn't ask for much, if I made my needs small or took care of things all on my own, I could help her deal with all of her stresses and the cause of her emotional challenges. I believed that she was heartless. Every time she would get upset and say things like, go to hell, or say things that were hurtful, I believed that she had no heart, she had no emotions. So now I know I just threw a lot at you, but when we come back, I'm going to talk about the new beliefs that I was exposed to that saved me from myself and my resentment around these old beliefs. All right, we'll be right back in 30 seconds. Hey sis, I know you. You want to attract a partner who genuinely loves you as a woman. You want to break generational cycles and experience the fulfilling romantic relationships that your mother and maybe even your grandmother didn't have. You want to learn how to release the pattern of navigating your love life through past hurts, trauma, and abandonment issues. So I've made this easy to consume, effective digital course just for you. It's called A Love Life That Loves You Back. I'm Candace Harper, a relationship coach and hypnotherapist, and I would love to help you create that love life. Just go to bit.ly/loving relationships for WOC. Can't wait to see you there. And we're back. So I'm talking about things that I believed that had me refusing to forgive my mother. New thoughts that saved me from my own resentment. And that's the thing about resentment. That's the thing about when we have those feelings, is that they only eat us up inside. So some of the new thoughts that I learned just from my own studies and my own willingness to learn that abusive mothers are abused daughters. So she definitely didn't invent it. I knew that from my own experience with her, that she struggled with her own mother, her own complaints about her mother, family pathology, right? It goes back generations. She couldn't teach me what she didn't know. So self-love and care, patience, relationship, partnership, compassion, those are things that were not taught to her because she was raised by a woman who didn't know how to teach those things. She did know how to teach me, however, affection, resilience, being a lifelong learner, and all very, very important things that I was not focusing on while I was making her wrong. The good things that she taught me, how to be in any kind of space, how to carry myself and just learn in life. So also, all mothers are doing the best they know how to do is a belief that I took on. I cannot hold myself up against my mother's limitations. Every mother is standing somewhere on this spectrum of what it is, from terrible mother to a fantastic mother at different times throughout their motherhood, right? They could be on the spectrum at any time. No one is given or promised a perfect mother. No one is owed a perfect mother. Does anybody even know what a perfect mother is? Usually whatever standard that we're holding them to is the one that they taught us by holding us to it, right? And one of the more important things that I learned was that I get to choose what I do with my experience of her and how I choose to alchemize that or perceive it or see it. So one of the things was we are individual energies with a physiological bond. I don't have to cause or live her consequences. In fact, when I do, I just bring pain to myself. When I try to retaliate or try to be just as combative. So what did those reflections and understandings offer me, those new beliefs? An opportunity to be who I choose to be. Not what having a tumultuous relationship with my mom would dictate I be. What I choose to be. I was able to forgive her by just releasing her from the behaviors that I chose based on how I perceived her. The ability to not be crushed by her pain. All of her behavior was an expression of her beliefs and thoughts and pain. And I was free from taking it on. As long as I didn't feel like it centered me, that I was centered in it and it was about me and that I had to retaliate. I had to give her resentment in return. Peace, that everything that needed to be said in our relationship was said before she transitioned. Being able to release that before she left this world means everything to me now because I get that I'm in charge. Love for whatever it took for her to make me into the amazing human being that I am now. Sometimes mothers know what they're doing, and sometimes they have no idea. And so it's up to us to make it what we need it to be. One that is aware of the importance of loving myself enough to release my resentments and be unconditional. I may not have learned that. I may not have that understanding if I didn't have the mother that I had. It wasn't that I forced myself to endure toxicity or pretend that I felt any differently than I did. I didn't forgive to be sweetness and light and allow abuse to be brought on me or to be gaslit or any of that. I simply allowed myself to take responsibility for my own experience of all of it, simply because I could. It didn't mean that my pain didn't mean anything. It didn't mean that I was invalidated for whatever trauma I went through. But when I became different, I perceived her differently. I perceived her behavior differently. I brought healing and peace to my own life. Because of my choices, I bring the experience of love and unconditionality to my own life as often as I possibly can. I don't know that I would have learned to do that if I would have had a different mother. Maybe, maybe not. And that's it, my sweetheart. What it comes down to is our power, our responsibility to take responsibility for ourselves, for our choices, and for our life. And forgiveness has been a misunderstood concept for a long time because we believe it's about some sort of moral value or pretending to be like Jesus, turning the other cheek, and pretending like the pain that we've endured we haven't endured, when in fact it's about being able to be with what we've endured, understand it, and also alchemize it to make it be something for our good rather than something for sabotage, self-sabotage, something to take us down. And we do have the choice to do that. We do have the ability to do that. It just takes that willingness to become self-aware about it, and that willingness to be with it and to let go of this idea that my resentment is going to in any way heal or change the past. All right, so don't forget to check out my digital course, A Love Life That Loves You Back, bit.ly/loving relationships for WOC. I talk about this very thing. There is an entire section to support you if you are ready to heal this pivotal relationship, a pivotal and sometimes tenuous relationship. If you're ready to do that work, definitely check out my digital course. Until next time, keep being unapologetically lovable and give yourself grace. All right, I love you so much. Bye now.